Hello, welcome. Welcome to Intro to Anthropology 2351 for spring 2023. This is a 12-week course where I will be uploading 2 videos per week. You'll have it by Monday and by Wednesday. And of course, it's an asynchronous course, so you can watch it at any time. This class does not have any specific requirements. You don't need to be an anthropologist to be taking this course. You don't need experience in anthropology or previous anthropology courses, because we will first dive in, cover a brief history and ideas of what is anthropology and the theories and its applications before we dive into any cultural topic. This class, it's not meant to be a difficult class. My intention here is for you to be able to have a cultural experience, to be able to let's dive into different worldviews and try to understand their perspectives. Anthropology is a study of what it is to be human. And therefore, one of the things that we will learn in this class is that the way we view reality is based on our cultural experience, based on decisions, adaptations that our family did, that your ancestors, your lineage did, that have shaped in one way or form your belief system or the way we live. For example, what is appropriate what foods are appropriate to eat. For some, some foods would be a taboo, which would mean not allowed to eat. Certain practices and belief systems that we have. So one of the things, let me open up the slide here. So again, that's just an introduction and my name. But like I said, human beings, we are constantly producing and reproducing culture. And one way to study human behavior and thoughts is by looking at how we express certain things, such as belief systems. And in this class, like I said, we're going to be learning how anthropology opens up this world and allows us to understand the way humans view the world, and to understand that the way we view the world or anybody else is not universal. Whether we're looking at a Mayan priest, an Ahmed, conducting a ceremony, calling down the winds from all cardinal points, to a Huichol, doing a peyote hunt in the desert, a sacred peyote hunt to call upon the rain, to a West Africa Sunday Society, invoking the spirits of the ancestors to take possession of the body, or young females undergoing an initiation rite, to the Inuits doing a sacred whale hunt. So all of these different ways of practices of viewing the world, we come to understand that there is no cultural hierarchy. In other words, people have different ways of organizing, of viewing the world, of having different values and belief systems, and one is not superior to another when we're in this field of anthropology. And this is something very important. We'll see how Culture is learned, how it's shared, how it's socially transmitted. These are ideas and values and symbols and behaviors that help humans adapt to their environment and give meaning to their life. So in this class, we're going to look at artistic expressions. We're going to look at religious expressions. We'll be covering different types of belief systems, of rituals, architecture, body art, how we decor our bodies, how we use our bodies to express from either from our belief system, from our individuality, or how it marks certain initiations and stages of our life. We'll look at food, at dance, at music, and so forth. I'll cover the topics in a moment. So just a brief introduction of the work that I have done. Again, I'm Carminia Martinez. In 2000, I have lived abroad for several, in several years at a time. But my last grant was in 2012, 2013. It was a Fulbright research grant. And I have been working in this area, the Yucatan Peninsula, for quite some time. And my research dealt with how the Mayas viewed 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar. If you remember, this was a global phenomenon, and what they were doing and how they prepared. But throughout the years that I've spent in this region, I have collected prophecies. I have attended ceremonies. I have attended rituals and lived among the Mayas, understanding, their everyday life to agrarian ceremonies, and to try to dive in and understand the belief systems and how they continue. And in these, I've also attended Mayan gatherings where groups from different regions, from Guatemala, Chiapas, Belize, Honduras, gathered to prepare for 2012. I attended agrarian ceremonies, personal healing ceremonies for people, and also collected stories of prophets or prophecies that continues, in this region. This picture right here, it's a beautiful mural that's in the town of Mani. And the prophecy, the story, is a prophecy for them. And it talks about how one day water will be so scarce that humans will have to sacrifice their young child in exchange for a small amount of drinkable water. Now, when we look at prophecies, it doesn't necessarily mean, literal, but it is talking about, and this is a very old oral tradition that continues there, and it is talking about, their concern for the water, and as a vital resource. And we also have to look at the topography there, and certain belief systems and so forth. And we'll dive into these ideas as we get later on in our lectures. The other group of individuals that I worked with and I interviewed people from all over the world that would visit these sacred sites. These are the Pyramid of Chichen Itza, Uxmal, many sacred sites throughout the Yucatan, were filled from people from all over the world arriving to the Yucatan, but for a spiritual quest in preparation and purification for 2012. So these the groups belong to what we would call the New Age, and it's a very vast, very, very vast movement. There's no one particular belief system, but in working with them, I interviewed many people on why they sought out these experiences, and I also worked with the spiritual guides, and also paid attention to how they were also arriving to these locations seeking out local Mayan priests. Okay. All right, well, let's get into reviewing the syllabus. For this class, there is no book requirement. All the exams will be based, they'll be lecture-based, and we'll cover them in 3 sections. The only assignments for this class are 2 article reports, which are already uploaded. I'll show you in a second. The first article report is due on March 24th, but you could turn it in before. That would just be the latest day to turn it in. And the second article report will be due latest on April the 27th. The way the grades will be divided, the first and second exam are each 20%, the final is 30%, and each article report is worth 15% of your grade. Let me get into the syllabus to show you. Okay. So everything is already available to you here on Blackboard. If we look here on the blue section, the course assignments, there's a course assignment page here. The article reports are already uploaded there. So you have 1 and 2. And the instructions as well. Okay? The questions for the article reports are there, and they're also here on the syllabus. I will get to them in a second. And on the bottom here is where it says submit your work. This is where you'll be uploading your exams and your article reports. Like I said, everything is already there. You can do it and get it out of the way. But if not, then there's, of course not the exams, but for the article report. And if not, we have our deadline to turn them in. This class, I do lectures, but I also use PowerPoints and video documentaries. I like to give you a visual of what we're covering, so you can have at least an idea. And the themes, how this class is structured, we'll divide it in 3 parts. The first one will just be a general introduction to anthropology. We'll look at the theories and methods and applications of it. Once we complete this section, we'll have our first exam. The second part is more elaborate as we deal with ideas of belief systems and art. So we'll look at ideas of, for example, of what, how we treat the body for, what happens next after this life. So we'll look at death rituals, the preparation for the body, and beliefs of what happens after we die. We'll look at ancestor worship, examples and ceremonies, how different people have relation and communication with the ancestors. And we'll also look at various religion belief systems and religious healing ceremonies. Then we'll dive into architecture and cosmology, astronomy, and then different forms of art, And lastly, talk about the body, how we use the body to express, how the body becomes a canvas, and what modifications are done to the body and why. And lastly, part 3, we'll look into food. Here we'll cover various topics of food and culture. What, like I mentioned earlier, like what is appropriate to eat? Why are certain things a taboo? And then we'll look at modern consumer culture and globalization. And towards the end, we'll cover a bit of my research, which covers revitalization movements among the Yucateca Mayan. So I also provide opportunities and extra credit assignments. And this class is not meant to be difficult. It's just meant to give you a cultural experience, a cultural trip. Try to step out of your comfort zone and let's dive into different realities. And the credit assignments are very simple. If you feel you need to raise a grade, you can raise, each credit assignments will raise up to 10 points. And one of the extra credit assignments is a food project, to have an experience. I provide a guideline, and I want you to try to step out of your comfort zone of what you eat in every day, your everyday reality. I want you to try something different. And if you live in this area in Austin, Round Rock, then we have a very large community, very diversified, and you can find many options to try an ethnic food. So you'll have the guide for that. Okay. Lastly, like I said, the instructions are already uploaded, and you also have it here in your syllabus for the article report. You have 6 questions to answer for each article. Very simple, 3-page minimum, double space, etc. Use your standard citations. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. I will respond. That's, either sometimes right away or within 24 hours. All right. So I look forward to the semester, and I hope you enjoy this class as much as I do. Thank you.